we are good to go.
We are indeed, and there's only 2 more matches to go through to actually decide our final 8 challengers going into the group stage of the major at Boston. And it's going to be very interesting. Obviously, Renegades against AVANGAR, and they've actually, Renegades had a choice, and they decided to play the map they previously got bodied on by Mousesports. They want another go of it against AVANGAR.
Jason chose AVANGAR. I did consider it because it has been a disappointing run for Renegades in the recent matches, but I did go with Renegades in the end because they're supposed to be a better team. We'll see if they can demonstrate that in this match. The winner will go on to play Liquid in the 11th and final match of the evening. Or day, rather. Did start early. Renegades with the Mandem going towards the B bomb site. There's the flash while the players are further ahead, going past the window. Azza getting taken out first. Quickert is not far behind him. James the whole thing's down in the market area, but the kills are being stolen. But Dima completes a hit with 3 headshots, leaving. Okay, Dima has none of this nonsense from Renegades. A 4K from him. Lovely stuff.
Yeah, very easy indeed. Just looked kind of clean in the end there. So, lovely 4K. Always feels good on the pistol round to just wipe up everyone. So, AVANGAR getting that good CT start. And this is always very dangerous when it comes to Mirage, because again we saw, I think Mousesports were a good example. We've seen so many Mirages from them of exactly what they could do when you get that good start, because you have all this money, you can pick up the AWPs, you can pressure all over the map, you can really mix it up on the CT side, and there's so many maps where you don't get that opportunity, Cobblestone chief amongst those. And so we're expecting to see some interesting things here. It's gonna be fun to see what AVANGAR are up to. Obviously the bomb did go down, so we'll actually see just a very light buy here from Renegades. I love this. They face all mid. This is actually a really good way to punish a team that overextends, because if there's 5 P250s facing the window, and let's say you're peeking it with a scout, that guy's going to die. So he might get a connection, but he's going to die very likely. So I like this. But AVANGAR not overextending.
Indeed, a light buy from Renegades. Renegades, the current personification of a low-fat yogurt. Eastilo will be surrounded. Eastilo's gone. We move on to the AKs from Renegades. Very quickly indeed. So let's see what Renegades have to offer AVANGAR. And AVANGAR, who will surely feel like they should have won the previous match, but an upset it was indeed. If Henry G is the only person to get a pick right, something's gone terribly wrong.
I thought he just lost his damn mind, but apparently he's the most sane of us all. So that was a crazy twist. A crazy twist indeed. Like an M. Night Shyamalan movie. Anyway, another mid-take coming in here from Renegades, but this time not with PT50s, with the might of the AK-47s. An upgrade indeed, to be sure. Now, close play there on the pit position. Could be a surprise for JKS, but maybe he'll have the better of them as Jim gets himself a kill onto Nap with the AWP. JKS can stand to open things up, but will he expect a second player? That's the question. He's read the setup, but whoa, okay. I thought that was a reaction shot from him, but actually, indeed, it's a teammate getting the trade frag immediately towards the pit. And the round looks like it's under control here now for Renegades, that they've gained the A site. And James, though, he can still make the difference, perhaps.
What does he do, James? Anticipates the shot, and that's a clean haircut for Nifty. 1 versus 2 now, and that's a very well-placed smoke on the bomb itself. But they know he's not on the bomb. He has fired a shot, and surely they would have seen his passage. Time is of the essence, James. Oh, he's seen a dome again, but this time he can't get the razor close enough to the hair. The smoke disappears as he touches the bomb, so opportunity has been lost. Surely there's no way he can do this now. Time to escape it. Has he committed too deep? He can save in CT spawn if he goes deep by the APC, or is it a tank? Whatever it is.
I think not a tank.
Where he can stand. But he peeks, and he dies.
Yeah, it's perfect for Renegades, preventing that potentially massive start from AVANGAR, but it's not over yet, as we can see. Obviously, the AWP continuing on to Jame and having enough in the bank, in the hold, in the coffers for a relatively respectful buy. but not the full respect, and the round might resemble that as well, as we should see perhaps no respect pushes to try to mitigate the inherent disadvantage they have in that lack of, let's say, ideal weaponry and an ideal amount of utility. And we can see it. An underpass push comes in from Buster. He won't find anything just yet, although we can see on the minimap that Azza is up there. Will Buster go for people? He's heard the footsteps, and that's a very clinical shot. Clean. And now things get a little bit tricky here for Renegades.
And Buster's the B player, so he can make a play up the stairs if he wants to. Kikert has gone through B-apps in the meantime, so it's relatively safe passage for him. And now he can go for the flank. Eyes are limited on the middle area though, but Chrisen is around the connector position. Doesn't really have eyes on short, and Kikert will go back into B because of that. Buster not looking to continue his flank in the apartment, starting to move away. Doesn't want to overextend, so the A site's still being bolstered here, actually. Indeed, 4 people will be over there now as Buster just retains this position, but still, the CTs don't have eyes on short, and you can see Ustilo and Nifty's positions are quite forward indeed, so perhaps AVANGAR have made an error which could prove to be fatal. That said, Nafly, I did wonder if he would go into B apartments, but no, he's going towards A. And that indeed is where the stack is.
And he made a scoping sound, so Kikert knows he's there, and it's an easy frag for Kikert, and that's a big problem. Nifty giving up the AWP. That's a double up setup now that AVANGAR can opt to defend the A site with, and Renegades looking to commit in here. Obviously, we see that there's 4 players ready to stand to the defense for AVANGAR, and time is really running out. 20 seconds to plant the bomb. In comes Ustilo with the flank through jungle, and it may go sideways here for AVANGAR, but in comes the save, trading out as they can, the Renegades, but it's not enough in the end. A very weird situation, as you say, James. A misread, perhaps, but actually working out.
Yeah, possession of the ladder room was not enough for Renegades to figure out what was going on in that situation. Maybe they assumed that the person in the underpass was maybe not a B player. So maybe they had 3 in that direction, I don't know. But either way, it didn't work out for them, and they find themselves on pistols. AVANGAR continuing with the 1 sniper rifle, and it's been expensive for them as well, so they'll have 2 UMPs. That grenade is glorious. That's almost 300 damage, and it will be followed up with AWP shots. Overkill from AVANGAR. Not a single player lost. That's a money-making round for them.
Yeah, that is really big. They have stabilized, haven't they? Things will get really interesting now. Obviously, they continue with the UMPs, and if this round goes well, then we could see that sort of classic CT Mirage situation where, again, the money gets out of control. They can go to double ups if they want. They can start taking some risks like we saw Mousesports do with some crazy mid pushes and so on and so forth. So a world of opportunity opens up to AVANGAR based off of this initial success, should they be able to shut down this round. It looks like the round is going to be a set piece onto the A site for Renegades. Let's see if they're able to get the bomb down. Sometimes this can work out.
AVANGAR's positioning will afford them 4 people very quickly to A, but Buster may choose a flank instead, moving towards top mid, maybe checking if there's a lurker. In the meantime, Renegades taking damage as they move in, but they get the first kill. Trades, though, will go in their favour, in fact, as Chrisen goes down as the 2nd player. Buster on that flank now as they're moving into connector as the bomb gets planted. Yeah,
perhaps AVANGAR not used to holding that type of A execution. It looked like they were a bit out of position to deal with the predictable rush going straight to jungle, and we get a run boost there perhaps as they do a triple peek towards the CT position. You got to love those small details. Still though, Kikert and Buster and James looking for that retake effort. Bomb is ticking away, and the shots will be rattled away as well, and the positioning good here. Slowly closing in on the defenders who look to now try to hold from this CT spawn position. It's not really working out. Nafto does get a clean headshot, 2 kills, almost a 3rd, but he can't stop the defuse from coming in. That's a big problem. And obviously AVANGAR will win the round. Though they got massive value out of that one, despite losing it. AVANGAR are only going to survive with 1 player, so that's a really good effort from Renegades.
Yes, and I'm sure Kassad will be aware of that and just barking information to the team. Don't forget, this is a big round for us. We made it very expensive for them. Only James survived. So he's telling them they're fighting from jungle. He's talking about the position. So he's observing what's going on while they're focusing on the frags. Yeah,
I think one of the first things he said as well is they're getting connector too easily, which is an interesting thing as well, because perhaps now we can come to expect more more control of that area from AVANGAR, more sort of focus around it. And if that is the case, maybe they'll play more aggressively around middle as a whole. So looking forward to seeing how this will transpire.
It's pretty cool what Kassad's telling the team, because while they're focusing on their own roles, he's pretty much painting a virtual picture of a common scenario for them at a particular point in the round, so the guys in the game can try to build their decisions around that structure, or with the aid of it. See how it plays out this round. 3 people top mid for Renegades.
And you can see the immediate focus is that connected position, trying to get information, root anyone out from it, but you can see that Buster has vision from short. Oh, and that's a very, very nice position. You can see James up on the ticket box, or rather the ticket position, ticket booth.
That's what the smoke's for.
And that's a bit too late, isn't it? Unfortunately. However, they're able to get a frag back here. Kristen in a very awkward position, potentially. No one to really help him out here when they decide to try to explode out of the connector. In fact, he'll peek into the angle, and that's not going to be a good look for him.
Nifty Naf, JKS moving in from Ramp and Palace. Isilo taken down in connector, and Dima's going to move in there. Kikat on the flank. There's nowhere safe to plant the bomb right now. As soon as Kikat gets to that ramp. Nafly's looking for it though, and that might make the difference, especially because Kikat's ill-equipped with the UMP, and the frags rain in for Renegades. Second round on the board, and what does this mean for the econ of AVANGAR? They can still buy, but it won't be as good as it might have been.
And that's actually a cool prospect, because again, it may mean we'll see something a little bit interesting. Previously, when they had something similar, they went for the underpass push. That said, they have the double orbs, so you don't want to have a position where you play really aggressively with the UMPs. You can't quite do it with the orbs, and then the UMPs die, and then the orbs are in a position where they have no one to support them, and that can be an issue. So thankfully we'll see a pretty conservative effort, just trying to apply some control around middle, but we can see that the split onto A is really the play out of Renegades, as Nifty looks to get control of connector eventually and play against the rotators from B.
Yeah, I don't know if he's going to be able to make this a split, as he's alone in mid with the AWP. He may just be a late lurker. They're charging in, playing the numbers game, Renegades, but will it work out for them? Demasic is still in the shadow position. The Molotov's going in to be forced through, but no one's actually looking to see if anyone's going to come out. That's going to give a kill away for free. 3 on 3 now. James is in CT, buying time. Buster on short, quicker, running to CT as well. Bombs will get planted on the inverse of default. That helps the T's defend it. James, that's a great spot from him, and a very quick punish indeed. Buster still in a short position, walking out, but not looking in mid. Nifty's been there the whole time, finally being activated. Very surprising for the CTs that he'd still be there. Figuring out where the bomb is. Nifty having a look. Turns out to be a mistake, and that fly from Palace. Could be Palace, could be Ramp, could be mid as well. Could have gone for a long rotation. Will they pick the right place? They will eventually. Kikat makes a save, round number 6 for AVANGAR.
That's kind of unfortunate for Naf, because he was so far away. He didn't know whether they were on the bomb or not, because he's just too far away. So he had to just go for the peak. And as you said, there's also spots to check, and they didn't know for sure. So if he was just a bit closer, there is a world where he waits until he hears the defuse. That's one player that can't immediately be in a fragging spot, and then boom, he gets a 1v1, gets the kill, and then maybe he can potentially win the round. So that's unfortunate for Naf, and we've seen across the day it's been quite a stressful one for him. In fact, all of the Renegades players, they've been through it through a very rough time today. Let's see if they can continue with strength through it all. The test of composure. Quick play into middle there from Renegades. That fast pace could undo Kristen. Is he ready for this? Looking towards short. Knows they're close. Can he get out of dodge though? Able to jump up on the side, but still found out by Azza and fragged. As we'll now see Renegades able to set up for the A play.
AVANGAR with problems early. Buster's still in the B bomb site. They don't have many people to fight with here. They need to make a gamble. Buster's slowly moving through, but his rotation is going to be too long if he continues at the pace he's going. James has to deliver in the meantime. So much information, and now Buster moving a bit faster. But Nafly is in the middle position to cut him off, so it's Kika alone towards A. He's got to pick onto Nifty, delaying the bomb going down. Renegades don't know where Buster is at present. Nafly's looking for him on short. In the meantime, Buster is in mid, and there's no way, surely no way, that Buster looks towards B short. Nafla in the ladder room though, so this is getting super awkward. That should have been a kill surely. Now Buster's stuck in connector. If he goes too wide, Nafla surely takes him down. Kika picking off JKS in the meantime. Vanguard are still bringing this back despite all the problems. It's Kika that Nafla takes down from their position, and Buster will be last to fall. 2 players surviving for Renegades. And they reset again. Back and forth we go.
Interesting stuff. Yeah, it's becoming quite strange. However, with this reset, unfortunately for AVANGAR, they don't really have much in the tank to fight with, and we'll see them spending all their money here. But this could really be the turning point for Renegades. You can see that JKS has a MAC-10, so of course, you know, that is doing, you know, respect to the situation that their opponents don't have the weaponry that they'd like, that there are pistols and probably a lack of helmets and Kevlar, which there is. And so JKS can try to take some risks, try to take the point in some of the more dangerous and close range positions with the MAC-10 to try to make this a safe round for Renegades. And we've seen this a couple of times today be a bit disastrous for them, so hopefully they're able to tighten things up as time goes on today.
Everything covered for Renegades in the first 25 seconds of the round. JKS in a good spot for anti-rush timing on the ramp. He's still picked off. Azza's got to try and protect the weapon, but Kika is having none of that. He's actually going for the duel. Taking a risk there. Doing some damage, but not much else. Azza may get taken by surprise if he peeks again as Buster's collected the weapon now. Does he know that Azza's tagged? Azza still fighting on his own. Trying to hold position. So they've got a pick, and it seems like Renegades are trying to move in for a split of the B-bomb site. Christen's been taken down in connector. Now, they need to get off mid, and I think just push that B-bomb site before the CTs can rotate. JKS has issues, but he's got the MAC-10. He's expendable. In the meantime, Nifty will hold down the middle area from the short position. Naf and Azza towards B. James having a look. Little to lose in this position. He's on his own. Needs to move as quickly as possible before more Ts make their way over here. There goes Naf. Azza's got 30 HP as well, so Nifty, he's holding the angle on short. Azza doesn't need to peek, as Nifty's holding the line there. No connection onto Nifty. James looking to do damage now, as without a kit, defuse is unlikely, and it seems he will just make his exit. This was a force buy from some of the players. For others, like James, it wasn't the full investment, but it's probably Nico in the next round, so saving the scout at this point is prudent.
Nice.
That's an upgrade.
Yeah, this is...
or is it?
Get to it in time. I'm not sure that he can. Ooh, close.
Oh, Azza's coming from the back.
Not time, I don't think. And this is really interesting actually, because that spot with James, I love how he peeked into short, like knowing the angles there. Really cool the way that he was baiting. Not baking. He's not really baking anything. He doesn't really have time for that. But trying to bait out the shot and then going for the wide peak. And with the movement speed of the scout, and as you say, like as it was tagged, there was a realistic chance for him to do that. So very scary round, honestly, from Renegades. We saw a lot of situations which could have gone a lot worse for them. So AVANGAR really fighting tooth and nail with everything that they have to try to do as much as they can. And as you say, with James picking up that AWP, that's going to really be very helpful into this round. We've got 2 UMPs and a FAMAS for them as well. The setup here, notwithstanding the push from Naf coming straight out the Palace, swinging out there and taking one down in the A site. There's actually 3 players still remaining in A, so I wonder if that will actually convince Renegades they should go towards that position, but that could help out for AVANGAR.
Bomb still in T-spawn, but Renegades, I think they're about to boost into CPL as well. Indeed, they are. I think that play from Naf, he just ran out from Palace because JKS was harassing on ramp as he normally does. And I think he had to read that one of the CTs was close on the ramp re-smoking. So I think from that, they gleaned that Naf would have an opportunity to move out Palace without anybody picking that position because they're focusing on ramp and get that pick. JKS couldn't capitalize on that because the smoke was still down, but I think that was a read from Renegades, which is a pretty cool one. Jay missing his shot, revealing his position for free. The bomb is headed there. And so are 3 Renegades players.
So awkward here for James. He's really quite out of position here. He's about to get wrapped and he completely out of position. That's one of those hard spots where you have to be able to read the T movement and try to understand, like, where am I supposed to stand here? And obviously that was the wrong choice. It wasn't going to go well, I think, if he stood in the site regardless. But Renegades, they played out a great round and put AVANGAR in these awkward positions that they were unable to perform from. And that has given them an additional round. They won from tying things up here in the first half. 5-6 now for them. Really starting to find their flow, I think, on this T side. And I think they're also starting to flex their muscles. I think we're starting to see the skill that we know that they have, because this should be a skill mismatch. I think it's fair to say.
Yes. It looks like they have righted the ship for the time being, at least. The waters appear choppy, but consecutive rounds appear to be won now from Renegade. Seems they're going in that direction. Tactical timeout from AVANGAR. It's been 3 in a row for Renegades. How far can they go? They're still at a deficit. AVANGAR still in the lead, running out of cash, but they'll be on the bye next round. Azza on the Mac 10 this time. See what they choose to do. A lot of people facing A at present, so this may be a faster one from them. Nifty jumping up suggests a smoke execute. Initial grenade going in. Smoke towards connector would suggest that people are going towards mid, and indeed one person is. That stands up, maybe trying to run distraction, thin out the numbers. Speaking of thinning out, Dima and James will be lost. There is Chrisen, though, hiding in the smoke, but you can't expect so much from him. Oh, that is quite something. 2-on-2 now. Yustilo's in the red. And it's Kikert alone. He's got a deagle, though. He might even get a kill through the box. He sees the trajectory. Yustilo escapes, however. Nafly, the full health player, doesn't want to show too much of his face. The flashbang from his teammate, I think, will blind him for a while, but he will get the kill regardless. That would have been awkward. Yeah, that was... I was a bit afraid there. Kikert with chances, and what an effort. Was it Buster out of Palace with the double? I think it was Chrisen. Yeah, it's Chrisen here. This was pretty awesome. Just one bullet, really close range, almost having an opportunity for a third engagement and making it possible for his teammates. However, it is a round for Renegades, but a round that was fairly expensive due to that last-ditch attempt from AVANGAR. All tied up now, though, and in a position where they're back onto a 4-buy, but once again, lacking all the utility. But let's see how they handle it. Renegades with a fast play through the short smoke here, straight towards connector. This time the smoke is down on connector. There is no AWP in play, so the smoke is important, so as not to get punctured in the chest. CT is present in connector, but they're boosting. They are circumventing that position. But Kikert is looking for something around this smoke, and he might just have a gap. Has he spotted Azza? I'm not quite sure. And now things get confusing. Oh no, like ships in the night. Oh, he spotted him. Kikert in the back. Oh, he's done him in. He has been absolutely done in by the knife of Kikert. I had no idea how that was going to go. I feel like that could have happened to either one of them, but Kikert will hold on to the window position now as Renegades are likely going to have to commit to something, and A is really what they're set up for. They do still have Yustilo in the connector position, so as long as the players coming up pit can actually deal with the man Buster, who is close to that position by Shadow, we should be okay here. Oh, that could be dangerous, though. We get the double peek that comes in, also from the player by Ticket, so Renegades really struggling to get up here, and every moment that they wait, it gets harder and harder as time ticks away and rotation becomes a possibility for the CTs. 25 seconds, and Buster can still make a nightmare of this. Is he even required? Finally goes for the peak. Absolutely denied by JKS. There's still a chance here for Renegades. 20 seconds to get the bomb down, and the CTs have split up. 1 CT, 1 connector. That's covering almost everything. Case in point, James in CT. 10 seconds, JKS. You've got to find this kill, but James says absolutely no. AVANGAR in the lead once more. It's a tight half so far. Yeah, I mean, the Renegades seem a little bit scared there to sort of trigger the play. And AVANGAR had favourable spots to duel from. I mean, we see, James from Ticket able to just AWP down into pit, just with no smokes, no flashes to block his engagement. And he's loving it, hitting some nice flick shots as well towards the end. Good performance from him to stop the momentum of Renegades, but they still have cash for a buy despite JKS being on the Galil, and it's going to be a fast play towards the B-bomb site. Justillo gets past the connector position, gets past the flashbang as well, and gets past Dima. That's a great second kill from him, looking for the third one, but he's done his job. Kika at the back by the van, has to be found by Renegade, doing work with the UMP. That's 2 kills. Can he get a third? He can! That's ridiculous. What a comeback! What time for his team, and put him in a 1 versus 2 after he gets traded. Nifty spots both players. He has all the information, but does he have the speed with this AK-47? Chris is running back and forth. He's given it up now. Nifty can actually plant the bomb for first shot here. James is behind the window with the AWP, but he seems to want to take the fight if he can, while he knows roughly where James is. Doesn't want to reset the situation. But now it might just get awkward for Nifty. He's got to take gambles, shoulder peeking, just in case the angle's being held, realizing it's not. James has backed up. He realizes what Nifty might be doing, so he has stopped himself from being exposed to this position. And now Nifty doesn't know if James is in the sights or not, and he might get shot in the back looking in the window. He's not really sure what's going on. Oh, he's going to moonwalk straight into James. He's outplayed himself.
Yeah, I was going to say, it's that situation, isn't it, where James has sort of made the smartest move, and then as you say, now there's all these questions. Has he gone into the site? And it seemed like that's what he gambled on, and then he's like, well, if he's gone into the site, the best play to make is to go towards A, and James played it perfect. That is awesome to see. I actually wondered what his reaction would be, but it was perfect. It's hard to play those spots. Now, 8-6, AVANGAR effectively resetting Renegades, putting them on a really terrible bye for the last round of the first half. CZs, UMPs, but we've seen more with less. Let's see if they can get anything going. A palace push actually from AVANGAR very quickly on the A site may give them the info to start rotating and reinforcing this B bomb site. They surely must be expecting a fast play, and here it comes.
Justillo charging in, leg shot onto Azza, Buster under the window, the smokes are down, but way too late to stop the damage. However, can AVANGAR capitalize on it? Apparently they can. James delivering another kill, still got the market area. That's a great shot. Very tough one on JKS, the trade though from NAF, 2 versus 3. They have the site, but can they get the bomb down? They need to focus on the kills, and the bomb getting out of the way would help that. Nifty just on the CZ. Needs to play off now. There's a flashbang, better be the best one of all time, and it's pretty good. Nifty with 1 kill, hasn't spotted the other guy in the corner of the smoke. Now he's alone, dancing around the smoke with Dima. Hasn't got time to reload. 4 bullets. Can use the wall now. Shoulder peeking, keeping an eye on where Dima is, but he can't find a kill. 9-6, a landslide half for AVANGAR.
Yeah, not a round. That was very sure which way it was going, but they indeed managed to make it a pretty decent CT half after all the backs or the back and forths that we saw with the economy, and that could often be really crippling for the CT side. And then we saw eventually a string of 4 rounds from Renegades, and I thought, all right, Renegades are going to take control of this match, but AVANGAR really showing that they turned up to play here, very serious in getting to the next stage, avoiding elimination and looking to play liquid for that spot in the groups of the Boston Major. And now everything is flipped. Renegades on that CT side, and we get to see AVANGAR. What kind of strats do they have, James?
I think 9-6 CT half is fantastic for AVANGAR. I think they are in a fantastic spot. Bearing in mind, if they win this pistol, we're essentially looking at them having double the score of Renegades, unless they get wrecked by a force buy. So let's see what they have to offer their opponents. The little known AVANGAR, surprising time and time again.
It's amazing just some of the history that's come out of Kazakhstan from a Counter-Strike perspective, but we're going to let the action do the talking for us here as the pistol play comes in towards middle. You don't often see underpass plays like this. It's been a while since I've seen this, and oh, it's going to work out wonderfully there from Keykurtz. Now Nifty is going to be a little bit sad about that, but maybe his teammates can remedy it. JKS, he's got the medicine for the situation. It's called a USP. That's Keykurtz down. And they have a good understanding of where AVANGAR are. They're just holding position with the bombing connector, waiting for Buster to make a play from B. Nav's covering this, though. This 1v1 is very critical as to the decisions for both teams. It's a bit awkward there. Buster still trying to make this work. The rest of both teams are frozen. Buster wins it. Surely now AVANGAR, they pull the trigger on the play into the A-bomb site, and all the action commences once again. 2v2 here, 1 versus 2. Justillo has it all to do.
Coming from the jungle position, They know where he's coming from. Looking for the trade fragger. There he is. There he goes. Justillo with most of his health, but he can't find the next headshot. That is absolute worst case scenario for Renegades. AVANGAR winning the pistol round. Are we about to see a 12-6 off? A 12-6 scoreline, rather.
It's very possible, James. Very, very possible. And again, it's just... The storyline behind these guys is awesome. I'm not sure if some of you guys had seen it, but on the Global Offensive Reddit, there's Hobbit and Fitch saying that they have a good eye on the Kazakhstani scene, but they had no idea who most of these players are, and that they were sort of handpicked by the org as they just paid attention to the best players on some of the Kazakhstani servers. So here they are, looking to perform, and trying to perform against the CZs can often be dangerous, and this round proves no different. However, they are with a numbers advantage, as we see Renegades trying to just win those battles in middle. But the 3v2 should be easy to play from now for AVANGAR. They've got some utility, and those weapons that they have also, the advantages that come with that, should make it simple. But I suppose I shouldn't take that for granted, James. There are CZs on the board here.
Dima has made his way to the Tetris area, and he's waiting for his team to join him. He has a smoke, and there is you can bounce a smoke towards CT there. She's probably about to line up, or maybe not. Sometimes it's more important to keep your gun out, and that's what he's doing. The A site is clear. There's nobody here. Renegades are towards B. Little for Renegades to lose. They will hear that smoke bloom, and that should be an instant rotation. No, they're moving out of B. Not quite sure if anybody's lurking, but they're on the way.
I wonder if they are curious as to whether there are guns in middle, because that could be one of the plays for Renegades to try to recover those. But another thing that they could be thinking is, maybe they left somebody to cover those guns and so on, and maybe the safe thing is just to hide together somewhere and keep hold of what they have. There is a lot of value on them at the moment. Definitely like carrying forwards the armor and helmets into the next rounds, but they are going to be moving into middle, so they will have a fairly safe way to peek into it. Let's see if they're able to pick up the weapons here. I think, are there any weapons to be picked up, or did it all get swept up? Oh, looks like they found some AK. They found an AK and the UMP, James. So there you go. That's a brilliant pickup from Renegades. That's actually a really good result. Getting 2 kills and getting the guns afterwards should help Renegades immensely, considering the economic standpoint. And around like this, one rifle plays really well. That they could just win this round.
Let's see what they can do. JKS has the AK. The T's quickly taking the middle area. Some call-outs from Renegades. They hear the sounds. A late presence in the middle position, but they won't be very successful. Azure and JKS here as well, but they are all getting wrecked. Nafly with an off angle on the side, looking for a 2K, but he can't get a second one, and the bomb plant will be resumed. JKS with the AK now, 1 versus 4, heading towards the A site, but I do wonder if this is the decision he wants to make. It may be a case of hiding in plain sight here. I'm not quite sure what the goal is. And I think indeed he is just hiding in plain sight. Maybe, sometimes you can bank on your opponents running towards B, clearing Palace, etc. So, hiding in plain sight is the name of the game for JKS. And if he can take a gun or 2 away in the meantime, then good for him. 11, soon to be 12, versus the 6 of Renegades. AVANGAR are in a comfortable position.
Yes, and the same cannot be said for Renegades. I mean, they don't really have experience against this team, I wouldn't imagine, and as many don't. And on top of that, I think they've been in this position so many times today. I wonder how many times their hearts can be broken in one day, James. I hope that they don't get to find out, because that is going to be very devastating should they not be able to find a way at least back into the game. AVANGAR obviously with a commanding position, but it can all change now that some economy is there for Renegades to have that full buy, to get nifty onto an AWP. But it must be noted, he does not have Kevlar, which can often pay into this. Now, We see a default spread here from AVANGAR, a tentative top mid play, and Buster walking out onto the A side. What on earth is this? It's denied by JKS. Wow, okay. That could have been an absolute catastrophe, but shut down by JKS, and now Renegades have an advantage. But what? That's crazy that Buster could just walk out there.
Yep, they got away with that one. Maybe it's a warning sign, maybe it's a wake-up call. Kikert now looking for an opening from the ramp position. 2 men down, AVANGAR really need something here. And there it is, there's the first kill, JKS taken out. Very important, AK taken away. And now we've got a fight around Connector, Nafly. Perhaps making a mistake there. Not expecting Chrisen, but still getting the kill. Bomb forced to rotate away from A. James trapped in Connector. As is coming up from short, he's surely going to get shot in the back. He's getting tagged, getting fragged. Kikert top mid now. Gets a one-on-one. Got to get off there though. Still 45 seconds. He's got time to do this. He's very low health, 1 versus 2 though. Maybe he can find a way.
Yeah, I mean, they already managed to eke out 2 kills from a situation where they were 2 versus 4, and obviously that's going to go quite some way into damaging the economy, which is the main objective, I think. Obviously, Kiker's going to try to do what he can to also attempt to win the round, especially now they have created a situation where it is a 1v2, and you can see that Renegades, they want to play this as safe as possible. There's obviously the option that they could spread out a little bit, but they're playing together so that they can guarantee trades if possible. This allows Kikert a plant potentially, but he has no idea where anyone is. And with the Molotov, he's given away his position prematurely perhaps, but finding the right place to plant, and that's the bomb down. Damage done. A pretty decent round after the sort of early catastrophe, I should say.
Isilo starting to rotate around the 15-second mark. A fair gamble. The round is won. So JKS, in fairness, he was positioned well in case Renegades are focusing on the middle position early. He was only exposed to the ramp, so it seemed he was aware that there could be a play from Palace, and he dealt with it. 5-round deficit now for Renegades. They've got some catching up to do. Unfortunately for them, AVANGAR still have money. So the 4 AKs and AWP rear their ugly head once again. Can AVANGAR have the upset? Can they make it to the face-off with Liquid? The match after this one, whoever wins this. Nafanustillo around the connector position. Grenades coming their way, but they won't do much damage.
Right, so this is a good setup here so far from AVANGAR. Again, just easy mid-control for them. They don't yet have the further developed aspect of it, which incorporates that connector control or the window or something in the short position like the ladder room. That's sort of the next level, the next tier, and we can see Renegades are holding on to those positions still. And that does give them a lot of information, and again, it's Mousewall sort of showed a masterclass on that today, how to sort of open these areas up and develop them to then inform you, maybe you get picks, but then inform you, should you go A, should you go B? You have all these kinds of options. But we can see that AVANGAR just setting up for the A play, trying to win position there in middle, not going so well. Still one more player to lurk around there as the main push comes up the pit with a bomb. Renegades know what is up, and they've already rotated the 4th man.
Stuck in the choke points of AVANGAR, and that is where they will lie. Ustillo roasted, but it's a small consolation unless AVANGAR can win the round. As they're picked off, they're making it expensive now, but it's down to Jay, the only man, and 2 will face him at the same time. Renegade survive with 3. JK stands over the second AWP, but it's not required, so he will upgrade to the AK instead. Tactical timeout from AVANGAR. They appear to be, well, we don't know yet. Dima's bought an AK-47, but I'm not sure if it's a full force buy or what the situation is. We shall have to wait and see.
Yeah, it's an interesting one. I think this round is sort of another example as to why the mid-control is so important, because if you open up those areas, 4 CTs back, you have more information, you have more picking opportunities, and then you can make it more of a sure thing, whereas they didn't really have control of connector before they already decided to go for the A play. And then we saw that they weren't able to actually open up connector with the 2 players they'd left there, and they're already committing into the A play, all from pit. So that, from the way that I describe it, obviously doesn't sound too effective, and Renegades handled it very easily. We saw that not only did they find the fragging situations easy because they didn't have to split up their defense because connector was fine, they also had a situation where they had the information, so they cheated over the 4th man really early. So that's an improvement that AVANGAR need to make. They can't allow Renegades to just funnel them into one choke point.
Indeed, with the extra money Dima had, it is the 1 AK buy. Looking for an entry towards ramp, but he's been smoked off for the time being. JKS and Naf around A, Nifty rotating. 3 smokes in the middle area at the moment. Palace has just been smoked by the CTs and Dima's creeping for the smoke on ramp, looking for the entry, but Naf is well aware. As a North American player, he'll be well familiar with those kinds of shenanigans. Chrisen rotating to take his teammate's place. Maybe try to collect the AK-47. If there was a... Oh, JKS has a high explosive, actually. Sometimes there are situations where you may want to use that grenade to blast away a gun that your opponents desperately want, but it's not necessarily safe for him to do so in his forward position on A, and he might not even have the angle. Somehow James found his way into the ladder position. Hazard seems unaware as he jumps back. He will not be expecting this, so there might be some position yet for AVANGAR with these last 2 players.
As the timing there was really funny, an HE kind of like removed the vent and that sound cue, pulled Azza back just as he would have actually spotted his opponent coming into the ladder room. That timing is very funny, but it seems like it won't amount to too much this round from AVANGAR, and it will serve to be Renegades on 9 now against the 12 of AVANGAR, slowly but surely creeping forwards towards their scoreline. And we'll have to see whether or not they can continue in this fashion. Obviously, the big buyers are coming out once again. And both teams pretty much, you know, reaching as far into their pockets as they can. And it's only Renegades with all that much left in the coffers. So Renegades can perhaps sustain maybe 1 loss and still have some kind of a buy. But both teams really are far from being stabilized at this point.
James on 26 kills at the moment. On the Renegade side, there's a reasonable average, but James is doing the heavy lift thing. Make it 27. That's a fantastically fast shot into Nifty. They see that somebody's on short as well. What can they do about it? As they're moving close, can he get the second kill? No, just good for 1. Yustilo and Naf moving into the market position, but James is taking them out. Finally traded. Yustilo forcing his way in. The bomb not down just yet, but they split him. And maybe now the bomb can go down. JKS in the 1 versus 3. Buster doesn't know where he is just yet, so he'll be in mid. Maybe JKS has been spotted now. I'm not sure, but it seems he will scurry away and try and save a Buster's in the ladder room. He'll get around the corner, but the round is with AVANGAR.
JKS first wants to fight, and that will not go too well. As you say, round for AVANGAR, 13 for them. I thought that this may have been the spot where we see Renegades start to pick up some rounds, crush the economy of AVANGAR. You know, they get sort of reset. Then, you know, you have a spot where Renegades are basically tied, but instead of being in a position where they can tie up the game, they're now in a position where they have to sort of force buy, have a scout, have a CZ, and that's not ideal, obviously. And now, AVANGAR, if they win this round, they could very well win the game. This is getting really bad now for Renegades.
That was a great shot from James in the previous round. There are a number of AWPers who, with a good spawn, will make a play towards B, but not quite in that fashion. AVANGAR with bodies around the middle area as they're in the ladder room. Nobody in CPR. Nifty rotating towards A. JKS and Nat very deep in A, and the bomb is outside A at the moment. 2 players for the T side around A. Dima on the low ground, Buster on the high. More than 1 player towards A often suggests an A play, but the bomb's starting to move away, as is Buster, and again James, he is everywhere, he is omnipresent, and that's sending AVANGAR back towards A.
That is quite the flick. James definitely hitting some of his shots here today, looking to impress. And now things get very uncomfortable for the Renegades. Nice trade here for AVANGAR to try to open up the choke point into the A site, but trades all over the places. The connector position is reopened up for business for NAF, and that's very crucial. That means that the defense can sort of connect, even though there's only 2 of them. And now they're sort of trying to play it a little bit passively. They don't want to get isolated. And in fact, running towards underpass is Azza. He is very far out of position. They have perhaps misread the situation.
There are 20 seconds left. He's got to move fast. There are 20. I mean, someone's got to tell him the time. Like, you can't be walking through B-apps with 20 seconds left, because if no one's there, it's going to be an A play. Your teammate needs some help. Starting to charge now towards T spawn. He'll slow it down in case someone's looking for him, and indeed, Kikert is doing exactly that. James on the site, Dima in the jungle position. Can Renegades bring this back as it gets taken out? That leaves Naf alone. He's clutched many a round for Renegades in the time on the team, but he can't do it this time. AVANGAR continue the march.
That could very well be Renegade's best chance down the toilet, because now their economy is completely ruined. AVANGAR are going to be playing an anti-eco. Renegades can't really eco though. They're in a position where they kind of have to force buy twice. That is a reality they're living right now. They will be on the third round loss bonus should they lose this round. And we have a timeout from them, I think, to assess whether that's the case. Like, do they save this round fully and try to play for overtime? Is that what they think is the most comfortable thing to do? Or do they just force buy twice? If they lose this round, then what they'll get, if they go for a full save, is going to be $2,400, which means that they'll actually have rifles and some nades. And it will be like a decent looking buy, but they are behind quite a few rounds. And do you want to play in that position with no margin for error if that one round goes wrong, or do you want to give yourself two worse chances with the CZs? And that's what they've opted for. Two worse chances, two force buys. That's what Renegades have now to try to save their major hopes here.
AVANGAR we'll leave the bomb in T-spawn for the time being, which is fine, and Ustilo is gone already. His ticket was invalid, he was not allowed on the train, and JKS has been thrown off as well while it's moving. Nafly by the ramp, waiting for some action towards A, and Az has managed to get something out of this. He's picked up the AK as well, and that might slow down AVANGAR. That's a problem, that's a threat.
All they have to do now is play sensibly. And might be good timing here, or bad timing. This is so awkward. Like ships in the night. Oh no, the absolute worst. Maraza, Divasic just staying out there in short, gunning down Naf. Now there's just Nifty, alone against four, outgunned, outmanned, and he surely has no chance to win a retake on B, and surviving is certainly the best case scenario for him, really. Just carry what he has into the next round. He'll have some additional money he could potentially drop, an SMG or something like that, or just play with it. This is so desperate. Perhaps he can steal away an AK, but that's just not going to happen. Going for a crazy pop flash. This is an absolutely mental play from Nifty, and he is going to get absolutely wrecked by Chrisen. 15 rounds for AVANGAR. Their chances look absolutely stellar at the moment to move on to the next stage. They'll be against Liquid if they do so, and for Renegades, they are staring at a pit, or rather they could be in the chasm of despair at the moment.
Go hard or go home. The Aussies will be familiar with that phrase. WMP, triple CZ. Marginally better than the previous round. They've been spotted, and the range in mid is not favourable for them. Can't get the numbers game activated before JKS is eliminated. Can't really re-peek either unless they're crazy. Three smokes around the middle area as they're trying to find something, but nobody's close. AVANGAR are playing the far range. A Molotov in connector will be enough to take Nifty out. 5 versus 3. And now AVANGAR move the numbers together. They are Legion. Demon waiting a bit. Getting his bell rung and then finished off by Ustilo. So maybe something can be collected. DUMPs continue on 2 of the 3 players as the charge comes into A.
Yeah, this looks very solid here. Very commanding is AVANGAR as they move into the A site. Nice challenge here from Azza, but there's too many players here, and the guns are too big. But maybe, just maybe, Naf can somehow save this. Buster on 20 health. CZ comes out, a few bullets left. Somehow Naf does it. What on earth was that? That should never have happened. That is a gift from the gods above. Renegades are still in this somehow. Naf, the man on your screen, has somehow given them something.
That is completely ridiculous. I think players were ready to disconnect from the server. Where has he got those 4 kills from? Nafly, you absolute animal. But is it enough? He saved an AWP, worth mentioning as well. His team are not going to have a good buy though. AVANGAR are still going to have a better buy.
By the way, just a quick note. It's actually insane that he had the presence of mind to, with that one player in Shadow, to actually stop firing the CZ, to then just 2-bullet him. And then to have like 1 or 2 bullets left for the final guy. That's actually ridiculous to me.
5 rounds. They need 5 rounds. They still have 2 UMPs, but they've got 2 rifles as well as the AWP now. They need to stop losing members early. Obviously, they've been desperate times, but now they are in a better situation. So let's see what they can do, how they can change their approach versus an AVANGAR who have been all over this match. Naf and Azar make their way to short B, and James is looking for another dirty play through the apps. The smoke off the balcony will have the attention of Renegades players, maybe weaken defenses elsewhere. That has forced Azar deep into the B-bomb site, and it's down to Naf and JKS to hold mid, but there's nobody mid just yet for AVANGAR. But maybe the smoke will force some utility from Renegades, although they seem to be holding on to most of it for the time being.
Yeah, that initial play I think is really intimidating for Renegades. You can see they've kept 3 players towards B all this time, perhaps suspecting that they have loads of players just sitting in the B apps, waiting for a later timing. Finally, though, now at the minute mark, we'll see Renegades starting to spread back out towards A in middle. So a more respectable spread to deal with a larger variety of situations as the AVANGAR, without a pick, without any map control, are going for A. James could open it up, though. Yorp scoped. Nobody close enough to hear the scope, I think, but Nifty has an angle towards Palace as well. These initial trades, very important as the play is made by AVANGAR, starting to dart up Tetra's position over the stairs, over Tetra towards the stairs, in fact. AVANGAR looking for their first frags, and there they are.
Naflight trying to defend from Connector, not quite working out for him, and it's back to the UMPs. The old unfaithful, as far as Renegades are concerned, as it goes past the angle too many times. Yusilo with 16 HP, not today, not this time. AVANGAR with a massive upset, but not getting too excited because they know their job is not done yet. 16-10 versus Renegades, and we do wonder what's happened to them today in this tournament.